All right, this next video, I think this is our first JCS video. I don't know if Oliver's ever seen any of them in chat. Um, Husband tries to act his way out of a murder charge, and you're gonna be murdered if you don't follow my social medias, and they're right here. If you don't sub, your mammy can't save you. I'ma tie your ass up. All right. Besides that, without any further ado, we're gonna get straight into it, man. Bro, I swear I hate fucking.
According to CBS News, 50-year-old stay-at-home husband David Tronis desperately wanted to appear on reality television. In late April of 2018, he managed to secure himself a spot on the show Zombie House Flipping, where he would be featured renovating his newly bought house with his then-wife, 39-year-old financial consultant Shanti Cooper. The only problem was that Shanti wasn't nearly as interested in being on TV, so she refused to sign off on the program, which resulted in David beating and then strangling her to death in the early hours of the following morning. He called 911 roughly 12 hours later at 3:51 p.m.
Dog, like, bro, just don't go on the show. This nigga beat his wife and killed her. When is it ever that serious, dog? Niggas be emotional little bitches, bro.
Which resulted in David beating and then strangling her to death in the early hours of the following morning. He called 911 roughly 12 hours later at 3:51 p.m.
Hello?
That's so... That nigga put an act on. He crying, talk about some, I found my wife, she's not breathing. It's so crazy, bro. Niggas be just, like, niggas be liars, dog. Like, niggas just in general, like, people. Niggas is...
Okay, listen to me. Can you tell me what your address is?
Police and paramedics soon arrived at the residence where they were met with a hysterical David performing CPR on Shanti in the living room. His immediate explanation was that he found her lying unconscious in a partially filled bathtub, bleeding from the nose and mouth. He was then taken to the police station as a witness, where they swapped out his blood-stained clothing for a custody suit. He was also given a water, a blanket, and a box of tissues, then taken to room 6, where he was reassured that someone would be right with him to answer his questions, which wasn't entirely true. He was left in there by himself for 4 hours and 9 minutes before he knocked on the door to use the bathroom.
4 hours and 9 minutes, bro. They ass be trying to let you sit, dog. Like, I swear, they be trying to let you sit and marinate in your thoughts, bro. Like, they be trying to let you sit and overthink your story. I couldn't imagine.
I'm sorry to bother you, Meg.
No, what's up? Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
It wouldn't take a genius to recognize that David's behavior is already suspicious. Ask yourself if you'd be acting like this in the scenario he's claiming to be in. You find your significant other unresponsive in a bathtub. Then police leave you in a cold room for 4 hours without telling you anything. You might just ask someone, what the hell is going on? Or what the status of your wife is. And you probably wouldn't be all that polite and apologetic for just trying to use the bathroom. He returns from the bathroom and sits there for another 3 minutes. The detectives will now enter the room to commence the interrogation. The time is 9:08 p.m.
Damn, this nigga was... She said it was 9:08, so what? He got there at like fucking 5:56 or some shit like that.
Can I get your first name?
First name is David.
David? Okay. We're gonna grab another chair.
Okay.
Did you need something?
I was just asking for a bottle of water.
Okay, so we can grab you.
Thank you.
Have you been to the restroom?
I just want.
You just want? Okay, how about anything else? Anything else?
I'm starving, a cracker or just something.
You and
just
me
with some
both.
salt, right?
Did you eat lunch? I did not eat lunch.
Don't be fooled by the detective's disposition. They're already certain that David has committed either first or second-degree murder, but they don't quite have enough evidence to place him under arrest, which is why they need a confession. David at this moment is still free to walk out of that police station, so the detectives will keep the tone sympathetic and non-confrontational for the time being to keep him on that chair. They'll afford him the false belief they are buying into his act as the grieving husband, but as soon as he gives them his initial version of events, the pressure will rapidly accelerate, in a manner that David is in no way anticipating.
What would you
I
like
like,
to
bro.
be?
I like watching interrogations like this because it's really just round 8, round 9, body shots, up, low, up, low, up, low, up, liver shots. It's like watching Tank Davis fight. It's like, you know, first couple rounds, he's chilling out. They, you know, they close together like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with that shit. Like,
Just something simple. Just like saltines or peanut butter crackers. Or
Anything
something.
like that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. We'll be right back.
Here's your water, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can take that one.
Yes.
Okay, things. Okay, is that good?
perfect.
I'm with you. I haven't eaten since this morning. I'm sorry this is taking so long. You are David, I believe? Okay, all right. I'm Detective Teresa Sprague, and this is Detective Barb McClelland. First of all, on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, we want to say how sorry we are for your loss.
So wild, bro. She talking about on behalf of Orlando Police Department, knowing damn well she trying to get this nigga in handcuffs.
So this is the first, out of a total 11, of David's fake cries. Their intensity level will peak about halfway through this video, during some of the more embarrassing performances you're ever likely to witness on the internet.
Oh
But
my
from that
God.
moment on, you'll notice these acts steadily diminish, as the detective makes it more and more abundantly obvious that she knows he's lying.
David, and also for everything that you're going through. I know this is very traumatic for you, okay?
Bro,
They start
Oliver, I don't know if you hear, bro. Let me tell y'all, bro. This nigga, bro. It was this little kid at work, bro. And he popped, like, we have a ball that we play with. Right? It's a big, big ball. One of them thin balls. It's a big ball. It's very soft. It's like, it hits you in the face. It's nothing. It's one of them big, just big balls you put air in. So, he has the ball, right? He had a pencil. He popped the ball with the pencil, right? And he got in trouble for it, right? He got to write up whatever, right? And he just went back to the other side and he was just joking and laughing. I was like, nah, come here, bro. You in trouble. Sit over here. Right? And then my manager, she went up to him and she was talking to him. She was like, oh, I gotta tell your mom. And as soon as she said, I gotta tell your mom, this nigga started busting out in tears, gang. He was carrying on, bro. I was trying so hard not to laugh, bro. Like, cause it's like, bro, I'm at work, so I know I can't laugh, bro, cause it's gonna look so bad on me, gang. Cause he's gonna be like, Mr. Reese was laughing. That's all he gonna care about now, the fact that I was laughing, bro. So I had to like keep that shit in, bro. But that shit, man, that shit
by
was crazy.
collecting
But
David's basic
anyways,
information.
my bad. Oh, he's 6'2".
Okay.
Hold on, since Oliver not here, give me 1 second. All right, we back in it.
Hazel eyes, maybe?
I'll take Hazel.
Blue, hazel, okay?
They're dirty, but yeah.
Okay. Is there a home phone?
There is.
Okay.
I can't remember the last 4 digits. It's 407. The next 3 are usually 704, the opposite. And I never call it.
The next 3 are 704?
It's 407, 704, and then I think it's 2808. It might be 2406, but I have it in my phone. I haven't. We've had it since we were at Briarcliff.
And when did you move to Florida?
In 2013.
Oh, of course, this is in Florida. And niggas be talking about Ohio, bro. Florida is dead ass the craziest state. Bro, Oliver, you can go through all of these videos. All of these crime videos are in fucking Florida.
5 months after I met Shanti.
Did you meet her here or there?
I met online.
You met online? Okay.
I met online.
This don't even sound real, bro.
Did you meet her here or there?
I met online.
You met online? Okay.
probably think he cooking
Can
right
you
now.
tell me what year that was?
It was 2013.
2013 is when you met online?
Yeah.
Okay. And
That
about
cry
what
just
year
dissipated
that
so
was?
quickly. His face is squinted up here,
It was 2013.
2013
and now his face is stoic. That's
is when
crazy.
you met online?
Yeah.
Okay. And about 5 months later, did you move here and move in with her, or just move here?
I'll try to be as accurate as possible. I believe it was the end of September.
So you guys knew each other approximately 5 years this month.
Bro, this nigga's fake cry is so
The end of September.
So you guys knew each other approximately 5 years this month.
I'd never been more in love. We were so happy.
Okay. If you don't, I know you've probably never been through anything like this in your life, okay? And I'm going to help you get through it. So if you have questions, you want to stop me, please do so, okay? But I do need you to understand your rights before we ask you about anything that happened in that home today, okay? All right. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? I'm sorry?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand for me, please?
It's crazy
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Absolutely? Okay. All right. So I need you to we're going to continue kind of down this path about how you all met. I know you met on Match.com, and about 5 months of, what would it be, telephone, text, and...
We just started every other weekend.
I can see
They
the
hit it
screen
off,
chat,
moved
but
in
I'm just not
together,
here.
then went looking for a house to buy in Florida.
We had an offer on a short sale and
Give me about
waited
30
and
seconds.
waited and it fell through. And then we
Getting
closed
water
on the
in my
house
thing.
on Copeland in April of 2015.
So you guys own the house free and clear. Is your name only on it, or was it both of yours?
When we bought the house, we weren't married, and so we put it in a trust, and we just completed the trust paperwork.
He put the house in his and his mother's names while leaving his wife out of it for, quote, planning and financial reasons. He
Planning
asserts
and
the decision
financial
was
reasons.
mutual, but whether Shanti actually knew about this or not is unclear.
And you've been, so once you moved to Florida, you've been living together the whole time, just home to home, just first with the folks, then Briarcliff, and then this residence. But you've been together the whole time. Have you ever broken up?
We had a couple fights. I think we were living at Briarcliff.
Okay.
We spent a few nights apart.
He says that he just spent a few nights with his mom, then drifts off into a statement about how Shanti was dedicated to work. The detective will now cut him off and steer the line of questioning back to the argument.
But she's
So
a strong
when you
business.
guys would argue, when you would go to your mom's, it was just because she was busy all the time, or what would the beef be?
The work had a lot of stress involved,
Oh.
and she would sometimes.
They're gonna play with that man in all sorts of ways. Man.
We always agreed, later that she was just overworked and tired, and
So she'd get a little snippy or short or yell, scream, what?
just irritable.
Irritable.
Small irritability. And sometimes it just another thing that's not really, I don't really do that. It's not really, I'm just gonna stand there. So I just, I would just say, why don't we take a break or just let it.
This nigga's
cool
cooked.
down period, and
His acting skills
we
are
came
horrible.
back. I think we only did it twice.
He's
but
an ugly bitch.
we were stronger.
Okay. And has that happened since you moved where you
It's
are
a lot
now?
just to
Because now
say.
we've got the added stress of the renovation.
No, we love it. We love the.
This is Keith Ory, the producer of the house flipping show that David wanted to be on.
When you would be interacting with the Torontos related to your work on the house and also the show, who was your primary point of contact?
That's so crazy how he has to go out of his way and testify for like literal bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like crazy, bro. He's just trying to produce a show and this nigga got him doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Contact.
Oh, Dave was. He would communicate her desires. I would see her, but it was more like Dave's full-time job, almost, I guess I would say.
Did you ever know during your time that you knew Dave to have any other job?
I was aware that he had explained to me that he'd worked for a chemical company up north somewhere.
I actually never knew what Dave did for a living. When my husband had asked him, he said he was into sales, but I don't really know what that means.
David never worked in sales or at a chemical company. You're now about to see Keith explain that he insisted on having a formal sit-down with Shanti to make sure that she was fully on board.
It was difficult to get them both together, but I explained ultimately that we couldn't go forward if I wasn't able to sit down with them both.
Ultimately, you're able to get this sit-down scheduled. Tell the jury about that meeting.
I arrived at the house to meet Dave and Shanti, and she was, by my estimation, unhappy to be there. And it was in a sort of a tense state. It was obvious that she was unhappy with something, and she was only there as long as she absolutely had to be, and then left.
This all occurred 6 days before Shanti was murdered.
We love what we're doing to the house. We love the vision that we had for the house. It's totally, I mean... Oh, she wanted divorce, but she wanted so bad. It made me happy. It made her happy.
This nigga forehead big as shit. Like,
together.
Now that I'm like really sitting here, like, this is some great distance. Like,
she wanted to quit her job.
God
damn. You know, slowly phase out of it.
Y'all can't lie, bro.
You know,
that's crazy.
She would really need to take a break.
They gonna be in this man booty hole.
Definitely slow down and definitely not add a whole lot more work. She could do more if she wanted to. I'm sorry, I can't talk about it any faster.
That's fine. And that's very normal. I think that's very normal. Because you're not going to process this for a really long time. So I know it feels like a really bad day.
Now notice how quickly he manages to pull himself out of the depths of despair and into
That's what I'm
casually
saying. Like he pulls himself out of that shit too quickly for it to even be mediocrely believable. If
talking
that's
about his house flipping show.
We Keith also just our lives are busy. I'm so sorry. I know you're asking simple questions, but Keith does a TV show, a home improvement.
Keith, the guy you mentioned, Ori. Okay.
It's called Zombie House Flipping.
Keith asked them to be on the show,
which meant that we would get a lot of what they call trade outs and promotional sponsorship to do.
Any financial incentive to do that?
Big. That's what they call trade out. I'm sorry, that's what they call trade outs. So their sponsors, that's one of the things I was working on yesterday, was putting together a list of the sponsorships, the windows, doors, cabinets, and so maybe instead of getting granite, you get quartz, or maybe instead of getting, middle range cabinets, you get high-end stuff. And we're also working on kind of just an amazing open concept stairway in the middle of the house that was going to go all the way up to the loft.
And so they'd come in and start filming?
Mm-hmm.
Would they film you all or just the work?
No. Yeah, it's just the house. They're the stars.
Pay no attention to David's no. He fully understood that he would be featured prominently on the show as the main builder construction guy. The so-called stars he's talking about are the hosts. The detective will now establish a timeline.
So when she comes home Sunday, it's you, Jackson, and Shanti, and you just stay at home and have a pool get together?
We only have them every other Sunday. It's our family day, and we do like to have an early meal, watch a movie. So,
do you recall Sunday night about what time everybody goes to sleep, since you're all
we go to bed
room?
early on school nights, so 8:30 we're winding down. 9 o'clock lights are low.
Shanti's son gets picked up the next day at around 5 p.m.
5 p.m.-ish, okay. All right, and then do you guys go anywhere, do anything, or you stay at home?
We made dinner together that night.
Jill. Next episode, they gotta show
For
him
like
in
a
jail.
Monday night.
Nah, they can't show that. This is literally gonna be white booty cheeks and big old black chunky fucking fat ass dick on your screen. That's all it's gonna
Did you
be.
watch TV?
Did
Voluptuous white
do
booty
what?
cheeks
American Idol.
and fat chunky dick.
Okay, so you wake up Tuesday morning and you're in the garage on the couch?
Mm-hmm. I usually wait for her to come down.
It's like this nigga, he goes like, and then one day I randomly came home and my wife was strangling herself. Like, it's so crazy. Like,
After 7
the
o'clock,
nigga's just
probably
ass, bro. This is L acting.
Almost 7:30.
Shanti went back upstairs and David started doing chores around the house. He's now about to mention the last time he supposedly saw Shanti alive, and then break into another fake hysteric. Yet this time, he will get no reassuring feedback from the detective, and the charade will rapidly dissipate.
Yeah, just my normal morning routine. And she came out again. That's not what I saw.
She came down again, and what happened?
Came down. And I've thought about it. I've tried to think exactly.
People
what
don't
time it was,
cry
but
in intervals of 3 seconds, bro. Like, that is not the way it works.
So exactly, I would say probably 9:15. And the reason I know that is
She said she was going to the dentist, and he said he was going for a walk. He now attempts another fake cry, but gets ignored again.
And
Did you take the dogs for a walk?
I went for a walk
By yourself?
by myself.
Bro, look how
Dogs
quick
for
he
a walk?
snapped out of it, bro. This nigga, bro. Put this nigga in, bro. Burn this nigga alive.
Ignored again.
And
Pour fucking acid on this nigga's body. Let him feel the burn.
Did you take the dogs for a walk?
I went for a walk.
By yourself?
But nah, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be heated as fuck. They took 3.5 hours to even question me, having me sitting in a room with no phone, no sort of entertainment, just in a room. And then on top of that, it's taking an hour and 15 minutes to question me.
By myself.
And where'd you go?
I went around Lake Lucerne and went out to Orange.
He comes back home and feeds the dogs.
That's all that I can remember until I went upstairs to see when we were going to pick up Jackson.
Okay, and what happens when you enter the home? Is anything unusual? When you enter the garage apartment?
So, I could hear the water is running.
I talk my way out of there. Boy, slow the fuck down, bro. Your ass can't. Yo, you the worst liar ever, gang. Like, you can't, bro. You can't even lie to me. How the fuck you gonna lie to some to detectives, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? You the worst liar I've ever seen in my life.
It's not like the sound of a shower.
Every lie follows
It's
with a
just-
laugh. You can't even, like, stay
it's
serious.
trickling out of the spout.
Okay, and so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just in case you didn't catch the passive-aggressive nature of that response,
Yes, yeah.
here it is again
Yes,
without
that was
subtitles.
passive aggressive as hell.
So you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just
That
look
was-
at David's face.
That was
Poor
very
David really
passive-aggressive.
doesn't want to be getting grilled like this anymore. Keep in mind, it's almost 11 p.m. He likely didn't get a whole lot of sleep the night before, and he's been acting his ass off all throughout the day. He'll at this point be exhausted and want nothing more than to get out of that police station. But he doesn't want to challenge the detective directly and risk losing her approval. Hence, he throws out a weak little display of passive aggression to see if she'll pick up on the hint, but it of course gets ignored. She will simply continue pressing with an unsympathetic tone, which will cause David to revert back to appeasement. He will then begin recounting the horrific circumstances under which he supposedly found Shanti. And as this unfolds, you will see a glaring disparity in David's emotional presentation.
The door's open, and what happens? What do you see?
I see her laying with her head in the right-hand corner. And it's just extremely awful, and it doesn't look
Awful.
natural. Obviously, she fell or something happened.
But you did shut off the water.
I did shut off the water and it drained, which tells me I could hear it draining when I pulled her out. I could hear. So that, okay, so I guess this is all weird, right? Because she's in there, the water's on, and it's draining. It doesn't make any, it just doesn't. It just doesn't make
And
any
it's,
sense.
not on all the way, it's on how
Like lukewarm, so just past half.
and she's face down. So the first thing you do is what, if you recall?
I reached out and grabbed her. I reached out and touched her right arm. The water is rose colored, so there's blood in the water itself. I can see a spot of blood.
And you pull her by her arms?
So I grabbed someplace on her arm, tried to get kind of under it a little bit.
You said she seemed stiff?
Yeah. Hard to move.
There's something so incredibly unnerving in the sound of the casual crunching of his snack as he recounts in precise detail the limp and lifeless body of his wife, so we'll spare you the rest of it.
I had to pull her and turn her a couple of times. Then she felt cold. You asked how she felt? She felt cold.
She felt cold.
I grabbed the,
You grabbed the what?
Nigga, if she was sitting in lukewarm water, how the fuck is she gonna be cold, bruh? No, I'm just busting down the door. What, this one you busting down the door out of the interrogation room? She was sitting in lukewarm water, bro. Just because she's dead doesn't mean her whole body's going cold if she's sitting in fucking hot temperatures, nigga. She's being fucking sous vide, bro. Like, her ass is not cold. On Oliver.
we had, when we did the better.
He dead ass cried for a second.
You grabbed the what?
We had, when we did the bedding, we took the mattress cover off to wash it.
The detective asked David to draw a map for the purpose of...
You know what's crazy? Like, why do people kill people and then call the cops and try to lie their way out of it? Like, that's ever worked in the history of any mankind.
illustrating
like,
the timeline of his movements.
that shit is
She will
never
now shift
worked.
the line of questioning and begin to gradually intensify the pressure.
When was the last time the two of you argued?
Very briefly on Saturday, right before we left.
The argument was over the renovation. David likely admitted to this because Shanti's son was there for it.
The upstairs floor was very wavy, and the point of contention probably was, do we tear all of that out and put in new structure and trusses so we have a perfectly flat floor and then a perfectly flat ceiling? But I don't think it's an argument if Shanti and I are both on the same page and we're both just in agreement and upset reasonably and justifiably upset that it's taking longer. Shanti and I aren't fighting about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're both upset about the same thing.
Does she feel as though you don't listen to her?
No, I don't think so. She knows I listen.
Has any fight ever turned physical between the two of you?
No.
Okay. Has she ever hurt you, hit you, struck you, threw anything at you?
No.
No. Have you ever harmed her physically?
No.
David continues to pretend that he doesn't notice the accusatory nature of the questioning, so the detective will now intensify the pressure to a significant degree.
She seems to shed.
Her injuries to me, David, seem really significant. More significant than from a soft tissue fall. More significant than from me tripping and falling and hitting my head and being knocked unconscious.
She elaborates on the inconsistencies while David just sits there and nods.
The issue I'm having with it is I absolutely think that she was deceased before you left to go to the park.
She repeats what she said a few more times, while David just keeps doing what he's doing.
Okay, so I think that you've told us a significant amount of information. You've been very cooperative. But I also think that you've left some stuff out. And I think you've left some stuff out that is maybe something got out of hand, maybe you didn't mean for it to happen, maybe you got upset, maybe, but there's something that happened between the two of you before you left that house. Because she was deceased, or on her way to being deceased, before you left that house. Now, if there's an explanation, I want to hear it.
I told you everything.
But you've left out something, David, because this woman has significant injuries. Okay, this is not from a fall. Did you harm Shanti in any way?
Absolutely not.
Did you choke her?
Absolutely not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
Did you beat her?
With no question, no. Knowing damn well he beat that bitch and then strangled her. Like, why not just leave her? Now she's dead and you're gone forever, bro. Like,
Did you hit her with anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you have injuries?
I do not. I do have some scratches from the bromeliads and from the bougainvillea.
Okay.
I do trim them myself.
Aside from the scratches from his plants, David had no injuries that could indicate a struggle. But this might explain why.
You noticed a single earring on the nightstand?
A single what?
A single diamond earring on the nightstand.
Yes.
And what was the significance of that?
Looks like she removed it before bed and didn't get a chance to remove the other one.
Because you believe that's when the attack occurred.
On the edge of the bed, where the blood was found on the side rail, yes. And I think when she turned to take that earring out, she didn't see it coming.
Would you mind, just for me to be able to
she was trying to
say
take her earrings out.
David is a perfect gentleman and is in the clear and did not harm his wife, would you mind taking a polygraph and proving that to us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would that be a possibility?
That nigga said absolutely. That nigga, he thinks, I mean, he know he can't say no, because then that's gonna look crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So he just talking about absolutely.
Okay. All right.
The detective asks David if he wants another water, to which he says, sure. So she brings him a water and tells him they'll be right back with a polygraph machine. But instead of coming right back, they leave him in there for just over 2 hours, during which time they decide not to proceed with the polygraph, but simply ramp up the confrontation.
Hi. You doing okay?
Yeah, it's just,
Did you sleep a little?
I did.
You sound gay.
I know you've got to be exhausted.
I did.
Or at least mentally. Yeah.
I just want to point out some things to you that I think are unusual. There's so many, I really don't know where to begin, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that I find that the living arrangement, I really don't know where to begin, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that I find that the living arrangement, I find to be completely unusual.
He's been in here for 5 hours.
You to be primarily living downstairs.
I'm not primarily living downstairs.
Well,
Okay,
sleeping.
that's what I'm saying.
What I said is that I sleep
That's
during the
even
day
better for him.
until we're done with
You do
dinner,
sound a
until
little
we're
flamboyant.
TV,
I mean, ain't no wrong with that,
until
but-
for the evening.
Okay,
80 or
just hear
90%
me
of the
out.
time. Okay.
So you don't go upstairs during the day while she's working. You leave her alone, and then
Not entirely. I do go up there.
Okay.
But I don't work up there while she's on the phone because it's distracting. It's her office. I think that I've explained extremely well.
No cap. I'm saying it all,
but
bro.
You said
He continues defending the fact that he was exiled to the
cap.
garage.
I need me, you know what I'm saying? I need me an Xbox with Smite downloaded, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, bitch? I need Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2, bitch. I need all that shit, nigga.
went
Fuck
in
you
a
talking about.
transition that she didn't feel like she could make right now because she couldn't afford the time that it would take.
After that, we gonna hop on. We gonna hop on.
part of the residence that's
We gonna hop on
somewhat
that after this
comfortable.
video.
You're sleeping in the
Matter of fact.
garage with the dogs.
how do you explain this woman's head being swollen, her eyes being black?
And would never, ever hurt her.
So when you pulled her out of the tub, you agreed with me that the water came out of the tub. There's not a spot of water on the floor, David. The carpet isn't wet. The carpet isn't wet from where she was pulled out of the bathtub, sopping wet, all the way around to the front of the couch. The carpet's not wet. There's no blood on the carpet.
Notice how little David moves compared to the detective. It doesn't correlate with anything in particular. It's just sort of interesting to watch.
My guess is she wasn't treating you very well. There's only so much anyone can take.
Like this is why they always win, dog. This is why the police will always win. What this say right here, Oliver? 7 hours. He was sitting in here for 7 hours. He been in here the whole day. He ain't had a phone, a computer, a laptop, a lick of Wi-Fi, a lick of signal.
Appreciate the very kind things that you've said.
Crossing his legs, yeah, he definitely. He gonna be getting fucked in jail. I know that.
Your suit that you're moving, but I'm missing it. It's really loud, but I missed what you said because you're talking so loud.
I'm sorry, it's falling off. I appreciate the things that you've said and the genuine consideration and thoughtfulness behind it.
David, you killed this woman.
I cooperated so I could give you all the information and all.
You cooperated because you thought that your language would overwhelm us, and you thought you could pull the wool over our eyes.
You thought that your language would overwhelm us. No cap. He's speaking. You feel me? He's speaking with a very big vernacular. Like he's trying to he's using big
language
vocabulary.
would overwhelm us, and you thought you could pull the wool over our eyes.
I didn't think there was any effort to do that.
All of this, all these tangents, all this flowery, fancy language,
answers to
all the
questions that you
details.
asked, to questions that you asked.
You know, you fake cried for about 7 or 8 hours today. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one. Not one. Not on scene with the officers. Not in this room. You have fake cried over this woman's death since we made contact with you for hours. And every single time you fake cried, we wrote it down. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one.
Nope.
Okay? We've been extremely patient with you for a very long time. I am losing my patience at this point because there is not a lick of remorse for what you did to this woman. Not even a little bit. You're staring at a woman you're telling us you're in love with, and you've done nothing the whole time but close your eyes, huddle up, and protect your own ass. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit and solve this case. And I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny.
The investigators would exit the room
laughing.
shortly after this moment at 4:56 a.m. David would then sit there for a little over 2 hours before finally asking to go home.
Dog. Dude. Is he a bitch? I would have been asked to slide. I ain't gonna lie, 45 minutes. They had him sitting for 3 hours and 9 minutes before they even questioned him. 49 minutes. Yo, get somebody in this bitch, bro, before I slide up out this bitch, dog. That's what I be telling they ass, bro. Like, what is we talking about?
But before being driven back by one of the officers, they asked him if they could take his photograph. He cheerfully obliged. Judging by his expression, he may have thought he had just gotten away with murder, but a grand jury indicted him 4 months later, and he was arrested at his mother's house. When he was told he was facing life imprisonment and that the evidence against him was overwhelming, he started acting crazy and went for the insanity defense.
Of course.
He was then sent to a maximum security psych unit, where he spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial.
Oh, okay.
This is what he looked like on the day he was transferred back to jail. His trial began on October 12th and lasted 6 days. He was years before defense.
I thought he got out of it, but oh my god.
He was then sent to a maximum security psych unit, where he spent 5 years before a judge.
5 years of that maximum, and it's in Florida. Why do you think they build maximum security psych units in Florida? Because they don't have them in every state, I don't think. Like, they don't have max security prisons in every state. But they have one in Florida, though.
Ruled him competent to stand trial. This is what he looked like.
Before, after. Nah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he pleaded insane, did 5 years, and he slid. I was finna say, bitch, what? I'm finna go catch me a body and then plead insane. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you talking about? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do it. My judge, my lawyer just gonna have to try not to laugh, because she gonna already know. But come here. I'm doing all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial. This is what he looked like on the day he was transferred back to jail.
You were bullied in
His
3rd
trial
grade,
began
so it's
on
fine. Yeah,
October
facts.
12th and lasted 6 days.
Niggas be out here linking with fucking 13-year-olds. They be talking crazy to, and then they say because they were bullied as a kid, it's fine. Like,
he
what?
maintained his plea of not guilty, with his official defense being that he was out of the house walking the dogs while an unknown intruder broke in and murdered Shanti.
You heard about the sleeping arrangement.
Of not guilty. Trial began on October 12th and lasted 6 days. He maintained his plea of not guilty, with his official defense being that he was out of the house walking the dogs while an unknown intruder broke in and murdered Shanti.
Facts. That's the best they could come up with. I mean, I don't know what else to even say with the evidence. He was given a case that is unwinnable, damn near.
Big arrangement. You heard how the defendant was sleeping in the garage with the dogs, while Shanti was staying in the essential, 1-bedroom apartment, separate and apart from him. And this had been going on, for over a year. This was an intentional killing. A random stranger that comes into...
How did he just chill for 4 months? Because the questioning, all that questioning, he didn't have to do that. He was just pussy, and they put him in awkward positions to where they don't want to ask to go home because they think it's suspicious. So all that questioning was literally just on scene, you feel me, questioning that he obliged to. They played it like he was a victim at first and then started pressing him. We know we're on you. He could have always left, but he finally asked to leave when he was like 9 hours in. You understand what I'm saying? Because look, that questioning, like they said, they explained this in the beginning. So pretty much it was on scene, right? The police got called. They pulled up to the crib. The bitch was on the floor. He was, oh, this happened, yada, yada, yada. Oh, the detectives are going to take you in for some questioning. They took him in. Boom, boom, boom. That same night. That was the same night the murder happened, right? So they took him in. He willingly went to go get questioned because legally you don't have to, I want to request a lawyer. Boom, you out of there. You feel what I'm saying? And then they just collect their evidence. So he was out. He went out. Okay, we're going to let you think you get away with it. 4 months later, they have 4 months more of evidence and knowledge and research and all that. He think he just chilling at your door. Come here. Got your ass. You locked up. We have a warrant signed by the judge. We are here to come get you. We have a warrant for murder. Boom. So, in situations like that, they just wait until they can build enough research to grab a warrant. They hit up T-Mobile. Yo, T-Mobile, we have a warrant for this person. I need to know everywhere where his phone was at and what time it was at, all the messages he sent, delete. You know what I'm saying? I need all the calls he made and deleted. I need all of that. Let me get all of your phone records, T-Mobile. I also want all of his emails because I got a warrant for that too. I want all of his emails. I want all of his search inquiries. Google, I need his emails and his search inquiries. I have a warrant for that too. Hey, them niggas don't play no games, gang. That's why they say don't go on no drill with your phone or they gotta take the SIM out. But now, iPhone 16, you can't take the SIM out. It's an eSIM. So you better leave your phone at home. If you turn it off, it don't fucking matter. They can still ping your shit. You feel me?
Isn't going to, take the time that it takes to strangle a person, to move them to a tub. Not take anything? Doesn't make any sense. Leave no sign behind, no fingerprints, no DNA? That doesn't make any sense. You have the severe beating of Shanti. You have the injuries to both sides of her face.
That's what I'm saying. There's no DNA. There's nobody else's DNA in the shit. So that doesn't even make sense at all. But
leave no sign behind, no fingerprints, no DNA. That doesn't make any sense.
But anything this ugly fuck tells me, I would absolutely not believe what he's saying because this nigga's ugly as shit.
No DNA. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. I would have instantly said, you know what? You go home, you are free. Because this bitch ugly little fuck is going to jail. Nobody gonna touch this ugly ass nigga. This nigga ugly shit too.
Severe beating of Shanti. You have the injuries to both sides of her face. You have the
come on, bro. This nigga's not an ugly piece of shit. My bad. Alright, my bad.
That doesn't make any sense. You have the severe beating of Shanti. You have the injuries to both sides of her face. You have the fractured skull, the swollen shut eye, the damaged eye on the other side.
Look at the dimensions. His neck is 8 inches wide.
That you saw
like he looked like he's saying in the court, like, boy, slow down.
The swollen shut eye, the damaged eye on the other side, that you saw the intense bruising and bleeding in both sides of her mouth. This was a beating.
Look how small his hand is in comparison to his body. God damn, this is a big hefty bitch. He just spawned in to fuck you over, no cap. They made this nigga in a lab in 0.2 seconds. They said 270, 5'10", sloppiest build possible. And then this nigga came out.
So at some point in that beating, the defendant, and you can infer this from the facts, intended to cause the death. And he did it with a premeditated design.
Close your mouth,
we ask that you convict him of first-degree murder.
Nah, you're not a baby boy. You a bitch.
Thank you.
The defense mainly tries to evoke empathy.
This nigga's been looking the same. This nigga don't give a fuck. Look how short this bitch ass nigga is, man. This nigga is fun size. God damn. I'm like, bro, am I tripping? Like, holy fuck. The other nigga was like well over this shit. Like, good God. That nigga. That nigga don't know if he want Quiznos or Subway. that nigga planning out his Subway sandwich from when he gets up out of here. He's deciding whether he wants the macadamia cookies or the chocolate chip. You know what I'm saying? And what chips he gonna get with his sub. This bitch ass nigga, he know he gonna eat. He don't give a fuck if this nigga go to jail, if this nigga go home, if this nigga die, if this nigga get the electric chair. He know he gonna eat whatever the fuck is available. And then this bitch ass nigga, nah, like, this is an ugly ass nigga though, like, for real. This nigga is, oh my God, bro. Like, bro, Oliver, look at the cut, my nigga. Look at the fucking cut, my nigga. Look at the drop off. Shit is like a fucking. This nigga has a cliff on the top of his head,
for the
bro,
defendant.
with no fade. Like this nigga just has. Yo, nah, this is crazy, bro.
But it ends up just roasting the fake crazy out of him.
Shanti's the only source of the income.
I knew he was gonna sound like this before he even talked, and I bet you he smoked cigarettes.
He's the breadwinner. He does nothing other than take care of the pool and the dogs. It's about circumstantial evidence, pure supposition.
This nigga's more interested in what his lawyer has to say compared to what the other nigga said.
It's about circumstantial evidence, pure supposition, all steered by Teresa Sprague.
Nah, hey, look, this he's leaned forward now. This nigga was leaned back. His back was touching the chair.
Crazy out of him.
Look at him.
He does nothing other than take care of the pool and the dogs.
Now this nigga's leaning forward. He locked in now.
It's about circumstantial evidence.
Nah, this is dead as short piece of shit. My bad. This is the last time saying this, but like, you have to notice he looks taller than the shit, but it's only because how far he's standing from it. He's probably shorter than that shit, and that shit is not that high, bro.
Supposition, all steered by Teresa Sprague.
This nigga's a short little
Who
shit.
prejudged this case based
Short
upon a
little
phone
turd.
call received from her from an officer at the scene about these crocodile tears. This is just a hunch, ladies and gentlemen. A hunch. If you hear horses, if you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras, sort of thing. Because that's the point. You don't get to fit a square peg in a round hole because it's convenient. And that's what happened here.
What the fuck is this nigga talking about, bro? This nigga has a clip-on bow tie. He bought this suit 25 minutes before he came here.
With the rush to judgment, with the
Facts. When's the last time you seen a zebra facts?
confirmational bias.
I've never seen a
Those
zebra
two
in real life,
detectives
I don't think.
went into a room with David Tronis and worked him over. He sat there for 16 hours.
Yeah, he was DoorDash before this. Facts. Facts.
His soul.
That other fat nigga, he got some Wingstop on the way. He not tripping. You know, that's why he got the fuck up on. That nigga back there fucking that shit up. I ain't gonna lie. That nigga
To
eating.
them, literally.
I don't know
and
where he at, but
figuratively.
he eating.
Told them what he knew. Told them what he saw.
What?
And worked him over. He sat there for 16 hours, bared his soul to them, literally and figuratively. Told them what he knew. Told them what he saw.
Even this nigga's looking down like I'm cooked. Like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? This must be his brother or some shit, or his friend.
The government's the one spinning here. The government's the one taking the insignificant and stacking them into a pyramid. And I'm confident that after carefully deliberating, that you'll come back and return the only just verdict in this case, and that's a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
No cap.
Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. So it says we all, dated at Orlando County.
This is in Orlando? Oh my god, bro. It'd be so much shit happening in Orlando, Ocala, like in that sector, bro, of Florida, like Central Florida. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh
County,
my
Florida, on
god.
the 18th day of October, 2023, signed by the foreperson.
Guilty. Of
In the
course he
midst
was-
of this tragedy,
he was guilty.
Shanti's impact as a mother was shown through her son Jackson. His victim impact statement
I'm not even gonna speak on bro hairline. Let me just...
was both heartrending and dignified.
My family and I have been waiting for about 5 years for justice. I miss her so much. I would have never thought.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't give a fuck that this little nigga's crying. Why? Who the fuck let him walk out the house with his hair parted down the middle like this, bro? Like,
For justice?
like, your mama don't tell you, bitch, you look stupid as fuck. Go fix that shit. Like, my mom used to tell me that shit. This nigga has his hair parted down the middle, bro. Who the fuck do this nigga think he is, bro? She's dead. I mean, yeah. She is dead, but this is not a good way to carry on her legacy, bro. In my opinion. We gonna let him pay his respects though, but
I would have never thought the day before was the last
The
time I would see my mother.
nigga's shirt not even ironed. This nigga don't give a fuck, man. This nigga don't give a fuck. Look at the nigga's shirt, bro. The nigga don't give a fuck. His shirt is not ironed. His shirt is wrinkly as fuck. His collar is all kinds of fucked up, bro. This nigga don't even look presentable,
I would
bro.
have never thought
and the
the day
nigga's gonna
before
call me the bad guy. Like, iron
was
your
the last
fucking
time I would
shirt,
see my
nigga.
mother alive. I miss the times where we would go to Universal or just the simple times.
And then this nigga's more dressed than he is. This nigga has on a silk dry fit hoodie. My bad. Let me let them pick. Let me let them pay their respects.
I would have never thought the day before was the last time I would see my mother alive. I miss the times where we would go to Universal or just the simple times, like walking the dogs or going to the park. She was the
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if I'm going, look, one nigga has on a suit and tie, trim. That's why I ain't say nothing about his weak ass hairline. Trim. He came trim. Lil bro, he could have ironed his shirt a little more, but he young, so I'll let it slide. This is, bro, you grown as fuck in a dry fit hoodie with no undershirt on. I probably see his nipples poking through this bitch if he bend his back straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is unacceptable, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I miss the times where
like my mom, like, on God, if I went to like a funeral or something where like anybody in my family died and I came out the house with this, bro, my mom would beat the shit out of me, bro.
To Universal or just the simple times, like walking the dogs or going to the park.
We gonna let bro cook though.
She was the best mom I could ever ask for.
It's like, bro, this is a court date, bro. They've been waiting for this date for 5 years, bro. Like, they done had the funeral and shit already. This is the big day where you decide whether or not your whatever brother, whatever the fuck he is to this nigga, is getting justice or not. This is a big day, bro.
That's it.
This nigga got on the dry fit. Look, they all are dressed up, bro.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Jackson. Mr. Tronis, anything you wish to say?
Nah, this is a hectic situation to be in for the family to all bullshit aside, because it's like they probably fucked with this nigga. That was their daughters, their whatever's husband. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes they build a relationship with them. So it's like they're losing her and him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though obviously they don't want him to be there anymore, but it's still like, you know, just the fact that they have to mentally overcome that. This is crazy though.
I think you just said no. Is that right?
He
Then
said he
in
don't
this
have nothing to
case,
say.
the court will adjudicate you guilty. Will sentence you to life imprisonment. Luck to you, sir. And the court will be in recess.
This is his latest mugshot. He is currently being housed at the Graceville Correctional Facility in maximum security, where he is expected to remain.
Wow. Where he's expected to remain. He ain't going nowhere. Ain't say remain for the next 10 years, where he's expected to remain. Because, I mean, they could obviously, you know, transport him to different jails or whatever, for whatever the reason is. So, yeah. That shit is wild, though, man. He did all that freight crying, thinking he was going, you know? They got his ass. They got his ass, man. That's wild.